All right, so I have it recorded. So we are going to go into our course. And in this week, we're going to go to the Illustrator folder. In the Illustrator folder, in this week's folder is an Illustrator folder. I'm sorry, it's buried. I probably should not have buried it, but we are going to download the hands template file. And it should look like that. I am going to have the chat open, or you can use your microphone as soon, especially today, especially considering what happened yesterday. As soon as you get stuck, please notify me. I don't care if it's a microphone or in the chat. I'll have, I'll do my best. I'll go as slow as possible. For everybody else who is bored of going slow, I would like to have everybody appreciate that almost all of us have had the experience of getting stuck, and I don't want experience for anybody, so try to be patient with everybody. And I know that it's not fun to go slow, but we're going to go as slow as possible and try to get everything done to create this clock. A lot of my students will ask, well, why are we doing a clock? Well, how many games do you know have a clock in it?
A lot.
And so do they all want to use the same clock?
No.
So if we're designing a clock, a very simple concept of thinking about graphics is the fact that if I'm building the graphics for this clock, I have a customer base that's always going to be there. People are always going to want a new kind of a clock, a new way to do it. You can, manipulate it whatever way you want to. We're going to just show you the skills necessary to do it. But you could be basically making as crazy of a clock as you wanted to. If we were in an animation class, I would show you how to animate it, so it would actually animate, and then you turn it into a GIF or whatever to be able to do the clock in a game. So now that I have that downloaded, I'm going to open up Illustrator. I'm going to close this right now. And for now, we're always going to create a new document, and we're going to use letter size as our standard size for now, unless I tell you otherwise. And again, just as a hint, even if it's already been used, make sure you're on the print one. I probably would change it from points to inches. I can show everybody how to make it default to that. I don't know why default is points, but I can change the default if you want me to. We're going to do the portrait up and down, and we'll create that document. And again, in the chat or on the microphones, immediately when you get stuck or you're behind, please let me know. I can then slow down. Otherwise, I don't know if you are all caught up. Normally in the classroom, I could watch all the screens. I would know exactly how fast to go. It is really difficult when I am in my home and you guys are at your home and I can't see what you're doing and how fast and how easy things are.
So we just change it to inches and then press create?
Yep.
Okay.
Now I'm going to use Finder. There's a number of ways you could do this. I know that I downloaded it, so I'm going to click on the downloads. There's my hands template. If you wanted to in Illustrator, you could go to File, Place. That would also be able to put it in, but I can literally just drag it in. So I'm just going to drag it right into the document. And now you should have a nice picture of hands sitting on your document. Now, after I do everything, I'm going to try to do a little short pause. But again, if you need more time or something didn't go right or anything went wrong, please try to put it in the chat or use a microphone so I know that you are all set. All right, window. And again, if there's a check mark on layers, it is somewhere on your screen, so you have to find it. If there is no check mark, please click there. That will open up that window, and then you can use it. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to lock the layer. And whenever we're doing this, what we're going to basically do, and I'm going to zoom in, you don't have to do this, but you can zoom in if you want to, is that you're going to notice that when you zoom in, you get to see how bad this file is. It's all that raster bitmappy stuff. Well, nobody wants to pay for garbage for graphics. So what we're going to be doing today is tracing and turning it into a vector. And when I'm tracing, I'm going to basically lock the layer, but then I need to go to the lines in the top right of the window and do a new layer. Now that new layer, you can leave it as layer 2 and layer 1. I don't prefer it. Just like in Photoshop, I want to label it. You can call it tracing, you can call it hands, you can call it whatever you want. No one else besides you is ever going to know what this is. Only for you. It's not for a customer, it's not for the teacher, it's not for anybody else. It's just for you. And the more labeling that you do, the easier life will be for you. All right, now I'm going to click on the tracing layer. I am going to zoom in on Command plus is the zoom. I'm going to zoom in on the top hand. Now I'm using the space bar to grab my, just like in Photoshop, on Command plus and Command minus, zoom in and zoom out. And then the space bar lets you move around. All right, next up, do you see any shapes? Is there any shape that you can pull out of that top hand?
Circle.
A circle. So I'm going to go to my shape tool. Again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the left-hand side. I'm going to hold the mouse button down and grab the ellipse tool. Now, please don't do this. Just watch my screen because I'm going to do something kind of weird. I am going to draw my circle somewhere else. And then I'm going to hold down the space bar and I can move that circle. I am not going to let go of the space bar, or sorry, the mouse. I'm going to let go of the space bar, not the mouse. I will resize. Now, if you screw up, no big deal. Black arrow, find a corner, move it in, move it out, move it around. So either way works. I try to get that circle to be the same size. Next up, I'm going to pull the stroke up, and I'm gonna reverse this. I want a black fill, and then my stroke color, I'm gonna hit the do not sign for none, so I have just the fill. If you do not have black and white, these are your default colors. Then you can switch it. Then pull that. Remember, you can pull these up on top. Whatever one's on top is one you're going to be changing. And then I just take that stroke off. Anybody need more time? Next up, third down on the left-hand side of the toolbar is the pen tool. If you hold it down, make sure you're not on the plus, the minus, or the anchor point. I want to be in just pen. Now, I can start anywhere, literally anywhere. I've always taught this lesson starting here. I could start here. It's just where I start. It doesn't really matter. I could start at the end. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put a point where those two lines kind of come together, where that line and this line come together. Then I'm going to go, and I always go clockwise. You could go counterclockwise, but I go clockwise. And I kind of best guess, click where that point is. Best guess, click where that point is. Don't go ahead of me, even if you think you know what you're doing. One of the mistakes that my students will always do is they want to click on the outside of the circle. Desiree, I'm using just the normal pen all by itself, just pen tool. All right, now when you are doing this, don't click on the edge of the circle, click inside of the circle, anywhere inside. It could be all the way inside or just a little bit inside. So just line up that line, click there, then kind of guess where that line would be on the inside of the circle, click there. But we're not done. It looks done, but we're not done. We need to go all the way back to that original point. And you will notice on the screen below the pen and below the right corner of the pen is an enclosed circle. That means that we are closing off a path, and that is extremely important. Anybody want me to help? Anybody stuck? Anybody already gave up? Okay, next up, black arrow. I'm going to, black arrow's top left arrow on the toolbar. You're going to highlight. Again, you do not need to go all the way around the 2 points. All you need to do is select, have the selection touching at least two of the objects. And you'll see that my 2 paths are separate. And remember from yesterday, we use this wonderful tool called Shape Builder. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down left-hand side. Hold it down. Make sure you're on Shape Builder. It could be on Live Paint Bucket. It could be on Live Selection Tool, but make sure it's on Shape Builder. Now, to do the Shape Builder, you hold your mouse button down and drag a line through the pieces that you want to join. I'm waiting for any chats or microphones. Anybody want me to go slower? Everybody good? All right, so we're all done with the top hand. We are going to go down to the bottom hand. So if you want to just space bar, we'll hold the all by itself. We'll have a little hand. You can grab that, move down to the bottom one. Now, this one's a little bit more difficult. And even if you think you know what you're doing, try not to go faster than me. And if, again, you get lost in something, please let me know. This is going to get a little bit more challenging. Again, what shape should we start with first?
Circle.
Awesome. So I'm going to grab that shape tool, make sure I'm on the ellipse. Again, when I'm drawing my circle, you don't have to draw right on there. Hold the mouse button down, hold the space bar down. You can move that circle wherever you need to. Let go of the space bar, not the mouse. So you basically just don't let go of the mouse until it's perfect. And as soon as it's perfect, then you'll let go. Also, if you do have a mouse in your house to use on the computer, I would also suggest it is a lot easier than the trackpad, but if everybody's doing fine on the trackpad, that's great. I don't like trackpads. All right, are we all set? Pen tool, again, pen all by itself. The one on the left side, just make sure you're on the pen and it does not have a plus or minus on it. Now, what we're going to do, and I'm going to start here where this line comes here, and for no other reason than that's just where I start. Now, when I move my mouse, I get the straight line, but I don't really have a straight line. I have a curve. Now, this is going to be really super weird for a lot of students. All I want you to do is not let go of the mouse. Hold the mouse button down, and it's super weird. It's like, what the heck is going on? Eventually, you will figure it out. Make the curve line up with that. And I did about halfway down. Don't go any further. Just don't let go of the mouse, and eventually it will make sense. At first, it's really, really, really awkward. But after a while, you just get used to it. Anybody want me to review that or redo that? Okay, so I'm commanding, all I did was Command Z for undo. I can Command Z one more time just to, I'm back to this point. I click once, let go of the mouse, I get the straight line. Now I'm gonna not do all the way to the end because it's super hard. I'm gonna do about halfway. I'm gonna hold the mouse button down and you're gonna get this weird rubber band. And your brain's gonna be like, dude, I don't get it. It will. Just don't let go of the mouse. Eventually you will get it. Let go when it's there. Don't move on. Don't click anywhere else. Anybody else need help? Now I'm going to move my mouse kind of further away, but you notice that that curve is now kind of connected to it and it's like kind of acting as a curve. I don't want that curve. I want it to be a new curve. Now you'll notice there are 3 points, one on each end and one in the middle. Click on the one in the middle. It's going to break it. And now you notice you're back to a straight line, which is cool, except for that we don't really have a straight line. We have another curve. So now I'm going to click here. I'm going to hold my mouse button down and I'm going to kind of get my curve as best I can. It's weird. It's awkward. It's not much. You'll figure it out. All right, next up, you'll notice the 3 lines. There are 3 dots. There's 1 dot here, 1 dot here, and 1 in the middle. Click the one in the middle. Be careful that you don't click off of it. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, I'm going to do about halfway up that side. I'm going to hold the mouse button down. It's a very small little curve. You'll let go. I get the curve coming off of there. I don't really want that. So I'm going to click on the middle point again. I'm going to go up here to this next point right here. I'm going to hold my mouse button down. Again, you're going to find it. I make everything look way too easy. I'm sorry. I really will apologize. I've been doing this forever and I know how to do it. Am I going too fast? And did anything go wrong? I can help fix it. Okay, well, hearing none, I'm going to continue on. So again, I'm going to click on the middle point. Again, I'm going to go not on the edge of the circle, but inside that circle somewhere. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to kind of match up where that line would be. Again, it may look like it's done, but it's not done. I need to go all the way back to where I began. I get that little circle on the bottom right side of my pen. I'm going to click there and it's going to close the shape. Anybody want me to redo or go through anything again?
Yeah, can you do that again, please?
The whole thing?
The part where you filled it in, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go really quickly through the whole thing again, just to make sure that everybody got it. I clicked on one spot, any spot. I get a straight line to do a curve. I hold the mouse button down. It's really awkward and weird. I finally get it, and then I let go. I click in the middle point to break the line in half. Now I get a straight line coming out. So now I can do another curve or different curve. Oops. Command and Z is undo if you make any mistakes or you click more than once. Then I'm going to click here, hold mouse button down, grab a small curve, click on the middle point, be very, very careful where you click. Click there, hold mouse button down, grab that curve. Also, just to be very aware of it, I'm never going to show somebody that I copied something. So do not worry if you're not perfect. I go inside of the circle somewhere, anywhere. I go over here to where approximately where that would be. It may look closed, but it's not. I need to go all the way back to where I began. I get a little circle on the bottom right side of the pen. That means I'm closing that shape. I'm just giving a minute. I have a student asking for more time. Anybody else can always ask for more time. You can just put it right in the chat. All right. Are we good? black arrows, top left arrow of the toolbar. I'm going to, again, highlight both pieces. I do not need to make a box all the way around it. All I need to do is make my selection box touch the two pieces I want to select. I'm going to grab the shape builder tool. Again, I'm going to hold my mouse button down and I'm going to draw a line through the area that I like to join. Next up, I'm grabbing the black arrow. I'm going to zoom out. Command and minus will zoom out a little bit. I am going to move that bottom hand up to the top hand. Do not worry if the two circles are not exactly the same. Hopefully they are, but I'm not worried about it. Now, do I want to join these two together?
No.
But if I don't join them, every time I try to grab it, it doesn't move both of them. So I'm going to, again, just like we did yesterday, what we're going to do is we're going to take the black arrow and we're going to highlight both pieces, but we're not going to join them with that tool. I'm going to go to Object and I'm going to group them, or what I did yesterday was Command and letter G. And you'll see that right here in Object Group. It tells me the shortcut is Command, that's the symbol for Command, and G. So Command and G as in girl will give me a group. And now if I click off and try to move just one piece, they'll move together, which is really nice. But one of the nice things about group, it's kind of like a paperclip. I can go to Object and I can ungroup them, and then I can still manipulate them. I'm not permanently putting them together. I'm just kind of temporarily putting them together. Last step for this step is that we are going to go to File, Save As. I am going to make a folder. You can do a new folder in the Documents folder or a new folder anywhere, and then probably call that Illustrator or Graphics and put it in there so that you know where it is. So I'll just show how I do this. I hit New Folder, call it Illustrator. Then you can put all of your stuff in that folder. And if you want a shortcut, all you do is drag it, not like that. I don't want to highlight, I want a line. If you put a line on the left side, that will put a folder over there so that I can put that. And I'm going to call this Clock Hands. Under Format, we're going to leave it as an Adobe Illustrator. And we'll save. Now, also, whenever I do mine, I might, put in like fall 2020, just so I remember that it was for this class. Just so you don't have to do all that. Right as of right now, we do not have to worry about any of this stuff. So just hit OK. I'm going to close that file down, and I'm going to make a new file. You could leave it open. It's really fine with me if you want to leave it open. I just close it just so I have a blank. So again, print, letter size, if it defaults to points, change it to inches, create. Again, if I'm going too fast, somebody please let me know. All right, so what we're going to do right now is we are going to make the clock face. The clock face is way more fun. It is not the pen tool so much as just learning some other different things in this program that are going to make life a little bit easier for me. Anybody want to guess, or not guess, but I'm going to use a polygon. And the reason being is that I want to use it to put my numbers in the right spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click once. Again, I'm holding on the shape tool, grabbing the polygon tool. I'm going to click once. So how many sides do you think my clock should have for a shape? Nobody? 12, awesome. So you're gonna put a number of 12 on there, and you're gonna put a radius of 2 inches. Now again, if you're in points, just type in IN and it will convert it for you. So if you are still in the point system or any other system, all you have to do is type in IN and it will do all the converting for you. It'll end up with a weird number, but don't worry about what the number is. Again, it does all the math for you. Hit OK. Do it one more time. I want another 12-sided deck. Did I put 14? Just to make sure I get this right, because it looked like I put. Okay, so I want a 12-sided polygon, which is a dodecagon, and then I want another one. So I want 2 of them. This one's going to be 2.5 inches. Okay. Next up, I am going to take the fill color and put that on top. So that like that. So it's on top. Hit the do not sign, and now you should be able to see through it. If you want to do that to both of them, make sure you're on the black arrow. Click on the other one. You can do the same thing. I want them both to be no fill, just stroke. Now, if you try to click off of these two and move them, you'll notice that they won't move. That's because there's nothing there. So you need to grab the actual outside line. And I want you to kind of line them up in the center of the screen somewhere. I want you to line up both of them until they are in the center of the screen. You should get a purple line that tells you that they're centered. Next up, and again, please stop me if I'm going too fast. Command and the letter R. Command and the letter R is going to bring up the ruler on top of the screen. There's also a ruler on the left side of the screen. You will also notice that there are some kind of squares on the end of the boxes. These are kind of bounding box, and these are the center points of that bounding box. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to hold my mouse on the ruler and bring that down until it is in the center. Then I'm going to take the same thing on the left side. Move your mouse to the ruler on the left side and bring that over until that's in the center. Now, if you did it wrong and it's not in the center when you grab these, just move those. You can move them with the arrow keys or with the mouse and just move them so they're both on the center. Would anybody like me to repeat or go through this again? Okay, so again, to do the guides, you are going to do Command and the letter R. R is in radial, and then you are going to hold the mouse on the actual ruler and drag that ruler guide down. Then you're going to do the same thing again on the left side until you have it in the center. Next, go to View, Guides. If there is no check mark on Lock Guides, please make sure there is a check mark by clicking on, again, View, Guides, Lock Guides. It will just make it a lot easier so you're not moving those guides around. Now, I use this 12-sided dodecagon because I want my numbers to line up, but it's kind of hard to put the numbers in the center points of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rotate tool. And actually, if you would please grab the inside dodecagon with the black arrow. Again, you have to, don't click on the middle, click on the line. Grab the rotate tool. Now, please do not do this. Please watch my screen. If I by accidentally or even just weirdly click somewhere else, it moves the center point, and then my whole dodecagon will move in a weird way. Don't do that, okay? What I want you to do is be very careful. Make sure that you are grabbing the point on the dodecagon and moving that point until it lines up with your guidelines. Again, black arrow first, grab the dodecagon, rotate tool, be very careful that you are picking a point on that dodecagon and moving that. If you by accidentally move that little center point, move it back by just clicking once in the center. Anybody giving up? Anybody stuck? Anybody having any problems? You guys are awfully quiet. I will have this recorded too. All right, next up, I'm going to grab a, Zach, do you want me to, is there somewhere I can help you with? Where are you? Okay. I want you to grab the ruler. Again, hold down on the ruler. Actually, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's get rid of the outside dodecagon so we don't get screwed up. The only reason why I did the two was to make this more obvious of what some of the things we were doing about like moving an object. I don't need the outside one. I did that only in the fact of just trying to make it a little bit easier to understand where things were and how you see through stuff. So you get rid of the outside one. Next up, you are going to grab the ruler, hold the mouse button on the ruler, and I want you to make a guideline at every point on your dodecagon. So you're going to make one point or one guideline at every single line of the dodecagon. Now, these guidelines are not visible to your customer. They're not visible to anybody else. They're only aids to make your drawing a little bit easier. You can use as many of these as you want. Again, no one is going to see them. They're just for you. I'm going to grab them from the left side. I'm going to holding the ruler down, dragging it over, and you can grab as many of these as you want. Again, if you cannot do this, Command R will bring up the rulers, and then you'll be able to grab all of the guides that you need. And again, too, if anybody gets stuck, I know you guys will think that watching the video is going to make it easier, but it's not. I can help you, especially if the video is only going to show you how to do it right. If you still screw up, the video is not going to help you fix it. So just be very aware of that. Like, I can help you fix it versus the video will only allow you to do what I tell you to do. All right, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to go over to the T on the toolbar, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 down the left-hand side. We're going to hold the mouse button down on the T and make sure you're on the type tool all by itself. There should be no other words, just type tool. Now, just like in Photoshop, we do not drag a box. I do not want a box. If you do that, it fills in with text and the whole works. I want you to click once. Before we do any work, I want you to change. If you do not have this window, again, that was under window, and there should be a check mark on control. Now that there's text on the screen, you should notice there's an option up here for that text. You can search for Arial black. Under the size, I want 36 points. Arial black, 36 points. If you have not highlighted the words, make sure they're highlighted. I want the number 3. Also, I'm going to grab the black arrow. Make sure that under the paragraph, it should be centered. And if you're highlighting it, it may not work. So that's why I did the black arrow, because you have to be kind of careful on how that works. Just make sure it's centered. It will make a difference because of what we're going to do next. Anybody want me to repeat that? You guys are being very quiet. So either everything's going really good and I'm teaching very well, or you guys are shy and not wanting to tell me that this is sucking. All right, now I'm going to zoom in a little bit. One of the things that you're going to realize about graphics is like these little, remember I told you these little handles are center points, but you notice that is not the center point of the 3. Now, if I'm going to be doing any work, I'm using number 3, I could use number 8, I could use a number of things, but I want to put this 3 in the center right here. And the 3 makes it really easy because I can see the center points of that number 3. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press Command and C for copy, and then Command and V as in violin for paste. And I'm going to paste the number 3, and I'm going to put the number 3 everywhere. And no, I don't want to make a clock with just 3s on it. I'm making this clock perfect so I get paid. And 3 is one of those ways that I can make it perfect. Now, I don't need to copy again. Don't do Command C. I've already copied it. So now I can just do Command V, and I can do Command V again and Command V again. And you are going to put a number 3 on every one of the spots of the clock. Again, you don't need to keep copying and pasting. It's already been copied. So now you can just put in Command V as in violin to do any, and if you want to use the arrow keys on your keyboard to do any fine tuning, you can do that too. And you'll notice as you get more and more of shapes and things on your screens, the purple lines tend to be more annoying. I can tell you how to turn them off if you want to, because they will start to be super hard. Like they're really cool at first and you're like, oh, I love purple lines. But then after a while, you're like, oh, this is annoying because every time I want to do something, it's like trying to fight me as I'm trying to do stuff. So the purple lines are kind of neat, but then also kind of a pain in the butt. So if you ever want, I can show anybody or everybody how to turn those on and off. I'm going to leave them on until somebody wants me to turn them off. I find it kind of annoying, but it does work. Anybody want to guess what we're going to do to all these number 3s?
Change them to the correct numbers.
Awesome. So just double click on them. Double click on them again to highlight them, change them to all the right numbers. And again, nobody wants to, nobody's going to pay me for graphics that look like garbage. They're going to pay me for graphics that look awesome. So I'm just showing you some tools of how you can use shapes and guides and things to make life a little bit easier, because the better job you do on all this stuff, the more likely somebody's going to want to pay you for it. Yeah, giving away garbage graphics to people, that's super easy. Anybody can do that. Making nice stuff, that's where you get paid decent money. Like if I was going to sell this clock after we're done with it, I would sell it for like, you know, a couple $100. And you may go, well, it's just the graphics. Yeah, well, if I'm going to do it to the for a customer and they're going to do it really well, and I'm going to put my time and effort into it, I'm not going to give it away for $5. Like people in the world don't do that. They don't give away their hard work for $5. They give it away for like real money. So if I was really going to put my full effort into it and I'm going to spend a couple hours, I'm going to make something really awesome, I'm going to charge a lot of money for it. That's life. And you go, well, nobody's going to buy it. Yes, they will. If you put your time into it and your customer is happy, they'll pay you. Do I need the dodecagon anymore? Do I need that polygon anymore? Hint, no. The font is Arial black and the size is 36 points. We're almost done. So we should be done by probably about 2:15, somewhere in that range. Everybody else set? And we need more time. I don't want to go too fast. All right, I'm going to grab the shape tool. I'm going to hold my mouse button down on the shape tool, grab the ellipse tool. I'm going to click once. I want a 4-inch circle. Now a 4-inch circle means 4 in both dimensions. That's what a circle means. Others, if they're different, it would be an ellipse. So circle just means that they're both the same. Hit OK. And then I want a 5-inch circle. And actually, I could be wrong. I always forget the dimensions of these circles. So it could be a 5 and a 6, but let me just see this for a second. Yeah, so we're going to need a 5-inch and a 6-inch circle. So I made a 5-inch circle, and then I'm going to make a 6-inch circle. Then you're going to take the black arrow, top left tool, and toolbar, and you are going to move them until they are in the center. So a 5-inch circle, so 5 in both dimensions, and then a separate 6-inch circle, again, 6 in both dimensions. And then you're going to take the black arrow, top left arrow on the toolbar, and you'll move them until they are in the center. Everybody good? All right. To select both circles, I could do this, but I accidentally a lot of times will select the number. And yes, I know you could do that and it will work. I'm going to show you another thing that makes life a little bit easier. I'm going to click on one circle. I'm going to hold the shift button down on the keyboard. I'm holding the shift button and I'm grabbing the second circle. Next, I'm going to use that shape builder. I am going to click on the area between the two circles, and you may need to click on it more than once. Then you should be able to do a swap. There, let's see if that worked. There it goes. All right. So you may have to click around a little bit, but I want just that circle on the outside to be the area. So I had to switch my fill and my stroke on it before that tool would work. But you should be able to get just that circle all by itself to be. Am I having any difficulties? Yeah, I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to undo. All right, so if again, I need the black arrow, you do need to highlight both circles. So again, holding down shift, I have both circles down. If you want to do a fill like that first of fill with black, so just hit the swap arrow, then do the shape builder tool and just click on this area right here. You might need to do option, hold on the option key on the keyboard, click in the middle to get rid of the inside circle. So option, click on the inside circle, and that should then disappear so that you have just that outside border. Anybody else having difficulties getting that black ring? I can help, I can fix. All right, going once, going twice. All right, now I could go to my swatches and I could just put in any color I want. However, that's boring. Not very fun. It's just a solid ring. So we're gonna go to Window and we're gonna go to Gradient. Window, Gradient. Window gradient is going to come up with a really cool little thing where you can click here. It's going to go from black into white. I'm going to take the tab. I'm holding my mouse button on the word gradient, drag that tab out. There's it kind of wants to hide in here, and grab the swatches. You can also grab the swatches out so that they're able to see both at the same time. So window gradient and window swatches. All right, now don't do this as I do it. Try to watch me first before you do it. What you do is you take and hold the mouse button down on any color you want, and do not drag it in the middle of this area, but drag it onto that actual circle. Anybody want me to show you that again? Again, I can take
Yeah, one more time.
any color, hold the mouse button down on any color. Don't let go. Drag that color down. Don't put it in the middle because it will add a third color. You just want to put it on that black circle, so be very, very careful that you're on that circle.
All right, thanks.
Now, when I use the black arrow, you'll notice that if I click off, that edge kind of disappears. So I'm going to click back on here so it's highlighted. I'm going to pull the stroke up so it's on top. And you can pick any color you'd like to be your stroke. On top of the screen should be the stroke word. I do not want this. Don't do this. I don't want like this super dark stroke. You can kind of, pick something that's, a couple points, 2, 3, 4 points. It's fine. Don't make it super big. And you don't have to use black. You can use any color you want. And you can use any colors. I don't care what colors. I just want to see that you're able to use gradients and colors and strokes and that kind of stuff. Everybody good? Anybody have any difficulties getting the gradient to work or the stroke to work? We're almost done. I promise. Like, it's really, really close to being done. Because we're all going to probably need to stretch pretty soon, right? Okay, next up, circle tool. Click once anywhere on the screen, 5-inch circle, 5 in both dimensions, hit OK. Black arrow, move the circle so it's on top of the numbers in the center of that clock. Now you'll notice that the numbers are being covered up. Whatever I draw last is on top. Whatever I draw first is on the bottom. Everybody understand that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Object, Arrange. So I'm going to Object on top of the screen, Arrange. Now, please think about all the options before you just pick one. I know that it's in front, so I don't want to do that one. I don't want to bring it forward. It's already in front. I don't want to bring it backward. I really want to send it all the way to the back. If I do backward, it is not going to do a whole lot. So I want to make sure I go all the way to the back. Now your numbers should show. Now, that circle is still selected. I'm going to go into the gradient window. I'm going to click on that gradient. I am going to take it from this linear gradient to a radial gradient. Oh, that's funny. It's doing it to my stroke. So I'm going to take the stroke off, click on the fill, then click on the radial gradient. Yay. I don't know why you'd want a gradient on a stroke. Somebody must have someday decided that that would be fun. I want to add in any third color to it. So I'm going to take one of my swatches. I'm going to probably use my stroke color, but you don't have to, and pull that in the center. So now you have 3 colors for a gradient. Now these little diamonds right here will determine how much color there is. So if you want more white, if you want less red, or more red, and you can move those around. It's kind of a disgusting color palette. I don't know if I really like that. I think I might change it. I like that better, and I'm going to change my red. This is the cool part. Everything is editable, so even if you don't like something, again, I can change everything. No, I think I want to, no, I don't know. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Okay. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying, trying to make it fun. You can have us make whatever thing you want. Now, this is going to be the most difficult probably part, but I want to show it. I want to select all the colors, all of the numbers. And yes, I could click here and then I hold down shift and click here, but it's kind of annoying to click 12 different times. You don't have to do this, but try to watch my screen. I'm going to highlight everything. So I'm going to highlight everything on the screen. So I'm basically making a box around everything. Then I'm going to use the shift button to deselect that circle. And then I'm going to use the shift button again to deselect that circle. You have to be kind of careful until you basically are going to get down to just the numbers. So instead of having to click around and click everything, again, I'll go slower. I highlighted everything. I hold down the shift button. The shift button doesn't just add, it's going to subtract that circle. It's going to subtract that circle, and you might need to click twice because there might be 2 circles there. And then you should end up with just the numbers. So now I could make my numbers all filled with white. I could make my numbers all red. I can make my numbers all blue. I can make my numbers all whatever color I want to because of the fact that I've selected all those. So make it whatever way you think is fun. So if you want to do white or you want to do something else. Last step is I'm going to do File, Open. I'm going to grab my clock hands. Again, that was in that Illustrator folder. If you can't find it, it was in Documents, and then you made an Illustrator folder. And then you will be able to click on the hands. I'm going to open those up. Please don't do, please watch, then do. So watch what I'm doing. Okay, I'm on the black arrow. Just like in Photoshop, when we move that car, we're gonna take this hands and we're gonna drag it up to that tab with the other one. Don't let go. You're gonna bring it back down, then let go. Anybody need help? Anybody stuck? Is everybody stuck? Hopefully you're not all wanting to watch the hour-long video again. That's not very fun. Okay, So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take the corner of this, and I don't want to do this because that's really, really weird. I don't want it to squeeze in a weird way. So I'm going to hold down the shift button as I'm making it smaller. And you're going to notice it's going to move it as it scales it. Don't worry. You're going to let go of both the shift button after let go of the shift button after you let go of the mouse. Then move that to the center and rescale it again. For those of you who do not know how an analog clock, that's what this is, works. It works because, or works by having that minute hand past the numbers and the hour hand pointing to the numbers. So you're going to keep moving and scaling until the hand is going past the number, the minute hand is past the numbers, and the hour hand is pointing to the numbers. Do not change the time. Just leave it at that. I've had idiots put in stupid times. I don't like that. If you want to see what it looks like without the guidelines, go to View, Guides, Hide Guides, and then you can see what it looks like without the guides. Hey, we're done. Well, we're not done. I mean, we're done, but we need to save it and we need to turn it in. One, we need to save it. So File, Save As. Again, I'm just going to call this clock or finish clock. And we're going to leave it as an Illustrator file. Hit Save. Hit, again, don't worry about this yet. We'll change that when we need to, but for now we don't need to, so just hit OK. That'll save it. However, does any of my customers have Illustrator? And if they do have Illustrator, why in the heck would they hire me? So we need to do File, Save As one more time. I'm going to then change the format right here. Now, the other, anybody ever seen any of these other formats? You guys are so quiet. Okay, so we're going to save it as a WPDF. So now I'm going to have a finished clock PDF. Save that. Now, on this, you do not ever want to pick on compatibility. You don't ever want to pick the newest, greatest, latest version of Acrobat because people may not have downloaded that and installed it on their computers. So always save back a couple just to make sure that it works. It does it by default, so you don't have to do anything, but just do that. Then you are going to put that PDF, and I will only be grading PDFs. So do not turn into me an Illustrator file. I will not be grading it. I want you to go into the Illustrator folder, into week number 1. You will find that there is a clock. You will go into there and make sure you upload the PDF file. Anybody have any questions on that?
This was all recorded.
All recorded. I'll have it up in now. What I'll do in this clock assignment, okay, there will be a video here in approximately 15 minutes after the 15 or 20 minutes. Actually, you know what? It might be longer. I'm used to being at school with the super awesome internet. So after it processes, I have to upload it to YouTube, and then I'll put the link into that assignment. However, I'll tell you what, if you screwed up watching me, watching the video again is not going to always fix your mistakes.
Okay, yeah, because I'd like to go back and just double check everything.
Okay, I'm fine with it. I'm just letting you know I'm here right now. So if you're all done or you want to watch the video, you can hang up. That assignment is going to be due by Sunday, so I'm still going to give you some time to work on it or watch the video again. So have a great day. See you guys next week for more fun Illustrator lessons during Zoom. I don't know if I love this. If everyone wants to stay on, ask for help, want me to do something, show it again, I'll do it right now, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So on my clock, my numbers are like really skinny. Like it looks like yours are bolded and mine aren't.
You probably just use Arial. Remember to do this, you can just highlight the whole group and then hold down Shift to deselect the items you don't want. So you're done with just the numbers are the only thing selected. Others, you got to click on each number individually. So whatever way you want to, but you basically are just going to make sure they're all selected. Then go into the T on the oh, is that not going to work? Oh, darn it. Okay, window, type, character. And then you're probably on Arial, so just pick Arial Black. But if you're on Arial, I'm not gonna like go crazy. That's not gonna be a major problem. So again, that was window, type, and character is the window for the font.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else need help? Emily, how was the rest of the lesson? Was it too slow, too fast, just perfect?
Some parts it was good, other parts felt a little slow.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go rather more slow than fast because I thought it would be the better chance since most people don't want to say anything. Can you imagine having to watch the video again? Ugh.